All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving our praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. I like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today is Monday, October 21st, 2024, Missile Monday. And I have this article from Common Dreams. And it says, leaked U.S. intel on Iran attack plans also confirms Israeli nuclear weapons. So I'm just going to go into this article, and then bring out a few scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. And it reads, it says, another of the alleged documents which multiple outlets have been told appear authentic confirm U.S. spying on Israeli military forces and show a strike on Iran is almost certainly coming. In which it is, because, Ishmael and Amalek, they've been over there going to war, for decades now, but, they'll retaliate. It says, we have not observed indications that Israel intends to use a nuclear weapon. That sentence is the concluding line from an allegedly leaked or hacked U.S. intelligence document posted online this week and later reported on by Axios or Axis, CNN, and other outlets. As Axios or Axis reported on Saturday, U.S. officials are extremely concerned about a potentially major security breach after two alleged U.S. intelligence documents about Israel's preparations for an attack on Iran were published by a Telegram account affiliated with Iran. The Associated Press and independent investigative journalist Ken Klippenstein both cited government sources who said the documents appeared to be authentic, while U.S. officials have yet to comment publicly on the material. Reporting confirmed an investigation into their authenticity and how they came to be in the public domain was underway. Since a barrage of missile strikes aimed at military targets in Israel by Iran on October 1st, a retaliatory strike in response to Israel's assassination of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah and other attacks, the world has been waiting for Israel's promised military response. And as you can see right here, this is the document that they posted on, Twitter or, X, which it'll go to it. But, just to kind of show, it's a little blurry if I zoom in, but, this is the document that was pretty much leaked, It says, assuming the documents are authentic, what they show is that U.S. intelligence, as is well known, and despite being close allies, keeps a close and clandestine eye on Israeli military operations. CNN cited an unnamed U.S. official who called the documents being made deeply concerning. Though the outlet did not publish the documents, according to CNN. And I guess this is from the documents. It says are marked top secret and have markings indicating they are meant to be seen only by the U.S. and its Five Eyes allies, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. They describe preparations Israel appears to be making for a strike against Iran, one of the documents, which says it was compiled by the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, says the plans involve Israel moving munitions around. Another document says it is sourced to the National Security Agency and outlines Israeli Air Force exercises involving air-to-surface missiles, also believed to be in preparation. Slovakia. Also believed to be in preparation for a strike on Iran. CNN is not quoting directly from or showing the documents. Says it has long been known that Israel has a nuclear weapons program and maintains a nuclear arsenal, but it remains both Israeli and U.S. government policy never to acknowledge or confirm the existence of either. In one of their documents, the U.S. specifically references Israel's ability to deploy a nuclear weapon, though it categorizes the threat of doing so in this case as low. Again, and this is, the documents, and then, the Pentagon. It says independent journalist Ken Klippenstein recently banned from X for posting an internal opposition research dossier that the Trump campaign had compiled on J.D. Vance, posted images of both documents to his Substack page as he excoriated major outlets for refusing to do. Says, as with the J.D. Vance dossier, which the entire media knew about but refused to publish, it appears the media has once again lost its nerve and its sense of what's news. Klippenstein wrote. And then with a name like that, he's 9 times out of 10 a small hat, man. Because, usually they have last names that end with Steen. But, that's neither here nor there. Because either way it goes, he's an insider, man. Because he's pretty much, posted, the document that was leaked, and it featured, those small hats' plan to pretty much retaliate against, Ishmael. So it says, according to Klippenstein's assessment, the intelligence report includes a rundown of various aspects of Israeli military activities that the U.S. is monitoring to inform its judgments and conclusions: weapons handling, air defense, ground forces, Navy, air, special forces, and even Israel's nuclear forces. But even then, only the weapons handling and special forces categories are identified as having a medium predictive ability in regards to determining Israel's action. The rest are now designated low predictive ability. The second intelligence report is titled Israel Air Force Continues Preparations for Strike on Iran and Conducts a Second Large Force Employment Exercise. The document details Israeli activities during an evident mission rehearsal in U.S. lingo that could be indicative of how Israel will strike Iran, citing imagery, analysis, and others. It's like in other sources. The NGA report notes that the Israeli Air Force is already conducting covert drone operations over Iran, evidently doing its own spying, and how, as part of Israeli Air Force activity has been handling air-launched ballistic missiles and other weapons, defending release of defending release of the full documents. He explained that both provide insight of enormous public interest as we stand at the precipice of a border conflict, and contained information that directly bears upon U.S. obligations and actions. For it is the reason that I've decided to publish the basic documents. So again, man, pretty much this individual, he's leaked those documents, or he hasn't leaked them, but, he's posted those documents that were leaked, and, pretty much it's evident that, those small hats are planning on retaliating against Iran, and they also killed one of their leaders. There's a picture of it on Instagram, which, I'm not going to go to it. Just say, they don't try to take my video down, but again, man, this war is ramping up, this war is ramping up. So just going to get straight to it. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 5. And it says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." And yes, man, as we know, traditional wars, were fought with hand-to-hand combat, men wielding swords, shields, spears, bow and arrows, those various weapons of war, charging each other, and fighting. But this war that is coming, World War III, is going to be fought with burning and fuel of fire, man, which is going to be brought away. It's going to be brought by way of what? Those ICBM missiles, Now, again, as it's stated, in that, excuse me, Slakia, in this article, they will have, ground troops. So, all these nations that are pretty much getting ready for this war, there will be ground troops going to war with each other, but they'll also, Slakia, there will be ground troops going to war with each other, but primarily this war is going to be fought with nuclear capabilities, That's how this war primarily is going to be fought, So I'm going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy." Yeah, man, the modern day smith being those scientists, those physicists that are developing these nuclear weapons, man, and that waster to destroy are those missiles themselves, and in particular, the warhead, because that's the part of the missile that does the damage, the warheads, man, but pretty much, again, they've pretty much saying that, it's possible that those small hats have nuclear weapons, which they do, because they're allies with, America, so they have nuclear weapons, man, because these various, NATO nations have nuclear weapons, because the primary two nations that possess the most nuclear missiles or warheads in particular are the United States and Russia, and in between those two countries, Russia has more. So that should say something, man. Russia's going to be the one to take this place down, But again, we still have to keep our eyes, on that region, because there's a lot going on, man. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49 and verse 20. It says, "Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them." So yeah, man, those small hats over there in our land, the land of Israel, they're the least of the flock, man. They're pretty much going to stir up World War III. They're going to cause, you know, the United States and Russia to step in on behalf of their allies because, as we know, Iran is allies with Russia and Israel is allies with America, you know. So eventually something is going to take place to where, those small hats are going to cause these two main nations to be at odds with each other. But as we know, this war isn't going to take place until the prophecy of the mark of the beast being made mandatory, which is spoken of in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16 on down, that has to come to pass first before this war can take place, But this is indeed a major prophecy, this third world's war, man, because it's inevitable. It was always prophesied that this was going to happen. So this is the book of Revelation chapter 9 and verse 12. And it says, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more after. It's like one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So yeah, man, that one woe, World War I, and the two woes to come after, are World War II and III, and World War I happened, World War II happened. But eventually, World War III is going to happen, So this is the book of Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. And it says, the second woe is past. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And indeed, man, World War I came to pass. World War II, has passed. We're on the verge of a third world war, man. That third woe, World War III. This is what's ramping up, man, because the world is at war right now, man. And, the American people are still oblivious to the things that are going on, because there's a time and place for everything. So I'm going to get the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 8, getting straight to the point. And it says, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And that's the time that we're in, man. We're in a time to hate. We're in a time of hate. Because as you can see, America is extremely divided, especially because of this election. We have those that wholeheartedly support Trump, and the vice versa, those that wholeheartedly support Kamala Harris. You have the people that believe in each of these candidates, that are puppets, for the elites, ultimately to push the New World Order, because it doesn't matter, which one of them gets put in office, either one of them is going to push, the agenda, of the New World Order, which is ultimately to get everyone chipped, So regardless of whichever one of them is selected to be in office, man, that's what they're going to do, because again, that's the major prophecy that we're waiting on before this war takes place. The mark of the beast being made mandatory, man, being forcefully pushed upon the people, because again, this all hell's going to break loose in this country, and people aren't going to be able to buy and sell because they're going to do away with this monetary system and switch over to a digital system, man, so they can be able to track where everyone is, buying, with their money, and be able to issue people, a certain amount of credits that have to be used. Otherwise, they'll be taken away, and that's what they want, that digital system. So I'm going to go to the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And indeed, man, is this not what these nations are doing? They're exhausting their resources into this war. This is why you have these various nations that are, they have these various nuclear programs, to up their, nuclear arsenal. And also, doing these various military drills, they're getting ready, because again, this war is going to take place over in the Middle East, in the region of Saudi Arabia, somewhere over there, because that's even, prophesied that, the Euphrates River will be dried up, just for this war to take place, which, I'll grab that real quick. So this is Revelation chapter 16 and verse 12. And it says, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the way thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. So yes, if the Euphrates River isn't completely dried up yet, it's going to be, soon, just so these nations will be able to go to war, man, because that's prophecy, that the Euphrates River will dry up. It's all, it's all a part of this war that's going to take place, man. This is what the nations are waiting for. They're waiting to ultimately take down America, because again, the least of the flock, those small hats are going to draw America into this war, ultimately with Russia. And as we know, or should know, that Russia, on a low level, or I'm not going to say on a low level, but on a smaller level, is going to take down America. But ultimately, we know it's going to be our Lord, Yahweh Shai, along with the angels, that is going to destroy this place, because again, the Lord's Spirit is also going to be in those missiles. So yeah, man, on a smaller level, Russia, the Lord is using, those Russians, Gog and Magog, spoken of in Ezekiel 38, he's going to use them to take down this place, but ultimately it's going to be our Lord Yahweh Shai and the angels that are going to take this place down and ultimately, put the world back in order, So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, and I'm going to give verse 16, and it says, I'll start at 15, and it says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, talking about the NATO and the EU, the 10 horns, says, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So ultimately, in the midst of this war, or even before it, something is going to happen to where, even America's allies, or eventually, they're going to be angry, they're going to turn on her, and they're going to shoot their missiles over here as well. The 10 horns, those NATO nations that are, in league with America, that are allies with America, are ultimately going to turn on her and shoot their missiles over here as well, man. Because again, it's all for an appointed time, man, because certain things have to happen before this war can take place. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, and verse 1, and it says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, holding back that destruction, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. So yeah, man, You have 4 angels in particular that are pretty much holding back the destruction that is going to come upon the earth, primarily to America, aka Babylon the Great, and the land of Israel. Both of those lands are going to be destroyed, but the difference between the two is that Israel is going to be built back up, because the Israelites are going to be brought back into their land. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, starting with the elect, are going to be brought back into the land of Israel. Once it's cleansed, once those small hats and those Ishmaelites are out of the land, man, But America is not going to be built back up. It's going to be left completely desolate. It's going to be a desert, pursuing to Isaiah chapter 34, giving a vivid description of how this place is going to look, after, it's finished burning. Because it says even the line of confusion, you won't know which state was which. You won't be able to know where New York, California, Texas, Michigan, you won't be able to know where these various states were, because that's how great this destruction is going to be, So I'm going to end it on this, because we have to remember, man, there's an appointed time, for this destruction to take place. But again, the prophecy of Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16 to 18 has to take place first, So I'm going to end it with Revelation chapter 9 and verse 15. And it says, "And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men." So again, man, there's an appointed time when this destruction is going to take place. There's going to be a particular, as it says, a particular hour, day, month, and a year, And it says to slay the 3rd part of men. Now you have 3 classes of men on the earth. You have the sons of God, which are the Israelites, today, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all 12 tribes from Judah all the way down to Issachar. You have the sons of men, which are, the other heathen nations, and you have the sons of the wicked, which are, the Edomites, so-called white man, because that's ultimately who this destruction is for, is for them. But you will have 2/3 of our people, that are going to get caught in this destruction, and whatever heathens, that are over here in America during this war, are pretty much doomed, So that's pretty much it for this one. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till next time, I say Shalom.